Today we're going to make a video with Doobie. I'm going to show you how to properly put on the bridle. When I first got Doobie less than a year ago, he came without a manual, so we had some issues with figuring out how to get the bridle on him. And it was a lot of confrontation until I was shown a technique that worked to put the bridle on Doobie. So for the next 5 or 6 minutes, I'll give you some insight on the best way to put a bridle on a horse to create the least amount of resistance. The first thing you want to do before you get your bridle on your horse is you want to make sure your equipment is organized. You want to make sure the head stall, which is the top part, is on correctly, that the earpiece is over to the right. If you have 2 earpieces, you make sure there's enough space on each side so the ears will fit in. You want to make sure the chin strap is behind the part that goes in the mouth, the bit, and you want to make sure the shank is facing the correct direction. You also want to make sure your reins are on and the knots are tight and all of the parts seem to be intact so you have a safe ride and it's organized and easy to put on your horse. Okay, once you've got your bridle and bit and reins organized, you stand facing the same direction as your horse. Doobie's facing forward, so am I. My right shoulder is to his left side. You want to keep this as safe and as controllable as possible. I generally, always, take my halter off and reconnect it. I keep the lead rope around the neck as well, so if anything transpires while I'm doing this, I still have control of my horse. The next thing I make a point to do is organize his mane and his forelock. As you can see, Doobie has a pretty thick mane. He has no bridle path, so it's important that I have all of the hair intact and out of place so that I can get this piece of equipment in. Now, when I first got Doobie, I didn't know that you weren't allowed to touch his ears, so I would go to put the bridle on and I would take a hold of Doobie's ear, and he doesn't quite care for that. So I would pull on these ears and try to get that bridle on, and Doobie would just be real resistant. So we worked through that until someone showed me a technique that's safe, comfortable for Doobie, and makes the whole process smooth. All right, so now I'm ready to put the bridle and bit on Doobie. I have his mane over to the right. I have his forelock in place. All is organized. I bring my right hand over his head. I take a hold of my head stall with my right hand. Still facing forward, I gently put the bit without touching his teeth in his mouth. I take a hold of the bottom of the ear and push forward because he's ear sensitive. I take the left ear and gently push forward, over it goes. And Doobie is successfully bridled, ready to go. Happy horse.